Well, I haven't seen you here in quite a while, but welcome back to LaserBrains. I trust that you've come to expand your lightsaber collection once again. Well, we do have a few interesting pieces that recently came in, so how about I run back and grab those, and then I can run through those with you and see if one or more of those strikes your fancy to add to your collection. How does that sound? Okay, let me just grab those. Now, this one, we'll start with kind of an interesting one. This one is, it's a fairly standard looking lightsaber, but one of the interesting things that we've noticed about it is that it seems as if it was built and then later altered by someone else, just given the different ages of the metals and things that are part of its construction. It seems like it was built and then a few years later altered by someone else because the design just changes a little bit in the style and things like that. So it is likely that this was owned by more than one Jedi. It could be something that, someone's master died and they inherited it and then altered it to make it more their own style, or it could be someone found a Jedi's lightsaber that had been, lost or abandoned and did some alterations to make it their own. Or occasionally Jedi friends will pass on lightsabers and they will make them their own. So we don't quite know the story behind it, but it is very likely that it was owned by more than one Jedi. And nice thing about this one is it still works, so it's always nice when you can have a working lightsaber. It does have a very nice design to it, fairly simplistic and easy to use, plenty of hand room here, so there's like a nice distribution of the gold and the silver and the black, just nice combination. So it's a very beautiful as well as working lightsaber. And of course it has the fun story of knowing that at least two Jedi have owned this saber, so that's one to consider. You'd like that one in the maybe pile? Alright, we'll stick that one right over here in the maybe pile. Now this next one, this is a Sith lightsaber, and I'm sure you remember from your previous purchases here that you always want to be careful with a Sith lightsaber because, they may still have some dark energy within them. The interesting thing about this Sith lightsaber is that it doesn't feel quite as dark as some of the Sith lightsabers. When you hold a Sith lightsaber, you can just kind of feel the energy being emitted from it and, just kind of feel that dark side right within the saber itself. But this one, while it is indeed a Sith lightsaber, it just doesn't feel quite as dark. So perhaps it was a Sith who was either coming out of the Sith pole or just entering in, or perhaps it was a rare Sith with morals or something like that. But it is an interesting energy that comes out of this saber. This one, unfortunately, does not work anymore. So, not all of the lightsabers can work. We're just scavenging lightsabers that were used a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So, not all of them can be working, and this is one that no longer works, but it is still a very nice lightsaber. The emitter has, kind of that great feature with the prong sticking out from the emitter, which gives it kind of a menacing look. So it's a great piece to to show off in anyone's collection. Do you think that is something that you'd be interested in? You don't think so today? All right, well, we'll just set that one aside. Let's see. Now this one, this is one that we actually have found several of. It's kind of interesting. Most of the lightsabers we find are, one-of-a-kind sabers, but in this case, we have found multiple lightsabers in this particular design, so we're assuming that it may have been something that young Jedi Padawans received as like their initial training sabers before they built their own later on. Or perhaps it could simply be, just a standard issue when you became Jedi until you made your own, Perhaps it was just an easy design for many Jedi to copy, so many of them made it in this particular style. Whatever the reason, this is one of the few where we have found multiple sabers in this style. It's a very plain lightsaber design, which is kind of why we lean toward the idea that maybe it's a starter saber, if you will, just because it's not really all that customized. It's a very plain, simple design, which would have been good to just give to Jedi who hadn't yet made their own. It does have this kind of cool little open framework cage on the end of it, and then, fairly plain run-of-the-mill emitter. So, again, just a very simple, very plain lightsaber, but probably something that was used by Jedi who had not yet made their own lightsabers. Do you think that's anything that you're interested in? You prefer the ones that are more unique? Okay, yeah, like I say, we have found a few of those, so it's not exactly unique. Okay, well, if it's unique that you seek, you might be interested in this. Now, we don't think this is actually a lightsaber. Our scavenger said that they found this in an old phone booth, so we're not entirely sure what it is. It doesn't behave like a lightsaber, however, being, an interesting artifact, we are carrying it in our lightsaber shop simply because our scavenger did happen to find it when they were on their last lightsaber collecting mission, so we did take it in, and we figured we'd put it with our lightsabers and see if anyone found it interesting. It does not work anymore, so we have no way of knowing for sure what it was or what it did. One of the things we have deduced is that it was probably used for diagnostic scans of some sort, and it appears as though it may have had some other features that it was also capable of doing, but again, as it no longer works, we may not ever know. But again, while it's not a lightsaber, it is a very interesting little device that might look good with anyone's lightsaber collection. Do you think that's something that you might be interested in? You think you'd like to stick to regular lightsabers? Okay, yep, that's no problem. We'll just stick with the lightsabers. Alright, now let's see. Now this next one, as you can see, it's a very large lightsaber, and this is one of those lovely double-bladed lightsabers, and this one still works. As you can see by the red blade, it is a Sith lightsaber, so again, you want to be very careful with this as a working Sith lightsaber. There is a lot of that dark side energy in it, so you do want to be careful not to get caught up in that. This one is it's a really beautiful design. Personally, I really like the way that the blade guards, the emitter guards there, the way they're mirrored to each other. So, this one is curved up this way, this one is curved down this way. I think it just adds very nice aesthetic to the blade, And other than the very cool emitter guards, it's a fairly simple blade. You of course hold it right in the middle so that the blades can extend out one or both directions, and then you can go and do your battle and see how that goes. This one is very easy to grip because it does have one of the chunkier hilts, so it's very easy to just wrap your hands around. Some of the thinner ones can be a little more difficult, because your hand is like wrapping all the way around them and your fingers are touching, but on this one you can just wrap your hands around it and still have plenty of room. And of course, you can do the double-handed thing if you want to do some fancy swirling and things like that. Again, Sith lightsaber, so I wouldn't recommend using this one with the blades too often because you don't want to absorb any of that dark energy, but it is a really beautiful piece to add to anyone's collection or hang on your wall. Again, just the aesthetics of it make it a very attractive piece for anyone's collection. And should you decide that you actually want to do a little dueling, again, it does work. Both the blades are still working, so it's always a great feature when you can have a working lightsaber. So, do you think that's one that you would be interested in? You think that's definitely one that you would be interested in. Okay, so we'll put this one in the definitely pile. And then going back to the other lightsaber, you said this was in the maybe pile. Is that something you're still interested in today, or should we throw that in the no pile for today? You think you'll go ahead and take that one as well? Okay, so we have the lightsaber that was owned by multiple Jedi, and we have the double-bladed Sith lightsaber. So, is that it for today, or shall I show you a few more? That's it for today? Okay, well, why don't I meet you up front, and we'll get these wrapped up, and you can take them home and add them to your ever-growing collection, okay? And I'm sure that we'll see you here again soon. Okay, meet you up front.